Hi guys, welcome back to Higurashi. The body wasn't there. The police didn't arrest me because of that, but I didn't know whether to feel happy about it. Just like Satoko had said, I'd felt to kill her uncle. The body wasn't there, so I was forced to conclude as much no matter what strange natural disaster, coincidence or miracle it might have implied. In order to free Satoko, I became a demon, and this abnormal world was my reward. Yes, metaphorically, I had fallen into the demon world. But if that price had been in exchange for the life of Satoko's uncle, then that would have been fine. Since Satoko's uncle was still alive, still shackling her to him, I needed to become a demon once again. One more time, no, as many times as it took, I would kill that man over and over again until Satoko was liberated. I had already awoken. I looked at the clock to see that it was early in the morning, as it was just about 5. It was already light outside. But once I hardened my resolve to become a demon again, I could feel my whole body teeming with the awakened power once more. This was an issue, no matter what I do it. I got myself up. The exhaustion for the past 2 days was completely swept away, and I didn't feel even sleepy anymore either. I slowly rose and made sure my body was moving like I wanted it to. I could feel my blood flowing through each and every one of my fingers. As I got dressed, I let my mind wander and had a strange thought. These 2 days, while I said it was for Satsuko's sake, the only thing on my mind has been killing. I said it was for Satoko, but while actually trying not to act, I completely forgotten about Satoko, albeit only temporarily. But initially, it was for Satoko's sake. But now I was just a demon killing for the sake of killing, and as a result, I sucked into a world fit for such a demon. Maybe it was the same for Satoshi. He resolved himself to killing his aunt to save Satoko, became a demon, then disappeared from the sunlight Hinamisawa, vanishing him into the demon world, which meant that after all is said and done, I meant him the same fate as him. I tried to avoid making the same mistakes, but it happened anyway, which meant that maybe Satoshi was here. Satoshi had come to this world a year before me, so he would be here somewhere. In surprise, I stopped walking. There was a second set of footsteps I was used to hearing. Could you be Satoshi? The empty, lifeless air wouldn't give me an answer, but I felt a strange kind of relief that there was someone there, that Satoshi had stuck with me the whole time. Let's go, Satoshi, once more. This time we'll set Satoko free for sure. I quietly slipped out of the house so my parents wouldn't notice. If they caught me now, then I've been out way too late for 2 days now. They gave me a really angry talking to. I didn't have the time to allow for that to happen. Today we'll put an end to it. If the dead body disappeared, then I didn't have to bury it. I could just burn it to ashes, then take them with me so I could kill them again every time he resurrected. I'll do it again. I'd kill him again, and this time I set her free. Outside, the morning light was so beautiful as to stagger belief. I went to the storeroom to find weapons with which I could kill him for sure. Blunt or not, it didn't matter to me. Right now, I didn't need to care whether someone saw it or if the police came. This world had gone crazy after all. A world where I'd shown up at the festival and had fun even though I wasn't there. Even the police arrested me, I'd probably end up going right back home as if nothing had happened. Both me and the other... Sorry, guys. Kichimabera. Even without me, he'd fill in. I could vanish from himself without anyone noticing. So basically, I didn't care if I was mistakenly killed. Even if I died, Kichimabera would remain. After all, this isn't the world I belong in. If I was going to be killed mistakenly for Satoko's sake, then that was just part of my duty as her Nimi. As those thoughts became serious, the morning air felt more refreshing to me, strangely enough. I don't know if it was scary. Let's go with this. It was a hatchet meant for chopping thick firewood. It was a hefty steel blade that was sinister, as though it was a tool meant for killing people. I couldn't exactly take it out in public like that, so I wrapped it in some old newspaper and tossed it in a basket on my bike. Sorry for using you for evil all the time. I'll need you again today, my legs. I apologize to my bike for some reason. For the past 3 days, I've only used it for dangerous things. I've been riding this bike ever since I lived in my old town. I could walk most places I wanted to go, so I hadn't used it all that much. My mom had bought it for me when I entered cram school, thinking it would be a convenient way to get to the station since it was far away. So I'd always used to get back and forth in cram school. I'd only ever put textbooks and class materials to the front basket too. I never tried to put a hatchet that I would be using to kill someone in there. When I came to Himasawa, life finally felt fun. I met the best friends ever and had some sort of greatest times ever. Those times might have been shut now, but it was my greatest wish that I could get them back, even if I had the rest of my life to do it. That's how fun those times have been. Killed someone, and now I was at it again, and to kill someone. Murder was a crime. I didn't believe that people should ever think murder was okay, but still, the times I had were enjoyable enough for me to commit such a crime. My friends were irreplaceable, and the time spent with them was a treasure. Hanging out, laughing, sometimes tricking each other, but always in a friendly way. I didn't fear committing any crime, as long as it was for the sake of taking back those times that gave my heart so much pleasure. Yes, this was a value I decided to uphold. It wasn't something I learned from a school teacher. It was a noble path that I chose for myself. I thought back to when I first came to Hinamisawa, about how on the very first days Toko had welcomed me via blackboard erase with a rock in it. That welcome really surprised the heck out of me. She would laugh, get angry, cry. She was never boring. She was obviously the most childlike one among us, but she was actually lively, full of vim and vigor, and good at meddling in other people's business. And that went for me on Minas where we could chat too. Once I took the one with the sitting everyone's laughing and banner. So to go try to look cool. Then Mian would make fun of her endlessly. This Satoko would cry, which would put Marina in a state of ecstasy. Chikache would be greatly delighted. And I happened to get mixed up in it. We would always fool around like that. It was lonely when someone was sitting around, but if I had to name one for whom it was the worst, it would be Satoko. Her smile was everyone's smile. Everyone said she stopped smiling to the rest of us. And for the rest of us, not smiling was the same as dying. It was just like when I was suddenly going to cram school every day just to maintain my unchanging test scores. So basically, we were nothing when she wasn't smiling. She was full of hot air, but she was our princess, cute and unhateable. In that case, I was her knight searching for the dragon's castle in order to win her smile back. Knights, of course, use swords, the awesome two-handed kind. I'm probably the only knight in the history of the world to be taking someone on with a thick, rusty hatchet. And I saw an old woman in the fridge of a field waving to me. Oh my, Kichi-kun. For a morning ride, I see. Good morning. I reflexively waved back in a refreshing way. Should I really been feeling so happy waving like that? So it goes helps me right past this road going beyond the rice paddies. The Kakadas had woken up too. The next day I knew I was in the audience of their daily chorus. I gave myself a hit or two in the head and drove away my merry morning mood. I took a deep breath and tilted my head back, quelling my pointless excitement. The body wasn't there. In the absence either meant my killing him had been an illusion or that I killed him and he rose from the dead. If it was at the festival, then maybe I should consider it an illusion. If I was. Coach probably thought that way, which is why he treated me like a lunatic. But if it had been an illusion, it was just impossible. I killed him without a doubt. Without a doubt. If that had been an illusion, then what would make all the cinemas I was in right now an illusion? If that was the case, then how would it end up? I was actually in a vegetative state due to a traffic accident, and I was currently dreaming in a hospital bed about how great it would be to spend time with friends in their rice paddies like these. That was a terrifying thought, though. If this was an illusion, then the only possible answer was that he'd resurrected. It would make him a literal monster. But if he was such a monster, then I was no less than a monster myself. I didn't hesitate to kill someone, and I could even manipulate curses. Takano-san probably died because I cursed her. I mean, that was a little much. If Coach and when she died too, that like I cursed them to you, so then I believe it. I set my bicycle downside and went to take a look. His motorbike wasn't here. Of course it wasn't. I said the hell that night. Throwing it into the Onegafuchi swamp. Or maybe, just like how the corpse wasn't here, maybe the motorbike didn't get thrown into the swamp either. The fact that his bike wasn't here might have been because he had gone to town and been back, and not necessarily because I'd thrown it into the swamp. If her uncle wasn't around, then that was convenient on its own. Then I would just throw myself in and then wait for him to return, sharpening my hatchet if he was there. For guidance, it's just come back to my gut. A feeling of tension rose within me. This issue was like a poison dulling my actions, but it could also be triggered to allow me to awaken my superhuman, otherworldly self. I held the hatchet still wrapped in newspaper. Its weight in my hands were profound, sinister, and reliable. I didn't know what time it was without a clock, but it's probably still a little before 7. Sicko will probably be awake preparing breakfast and our lunch. Her uncle probably still be wallowing in indolence. The guy like him probably had stayed up late drinking, probably always slept until noon. I considered ringing the doorbell and having Satoko open the door for me, but if her uncle woke up at the sound, I wasted my chance of him still being asleep. If Satoko saw me sleeping inside without ringing the doorbell, she'd be surprised. If I ran into her, what would I say? I'm coming to call your uncle for you, so stay quiet. No, I couldn't do that. That would be like making Satoko responsible for his death. Be quiet and go wait outside, and maybe that would do it. How would Satoko react to that? She would probably try and get me to give up on killing him. I would have to lie somehow to get her to go outside. Satoko didn't need to know that murder was going to occur in this house. I couldn't quite think of a good lie to tell her, but I couldn't do much just standing around like this. I made up my mind, grabbed the doorknob, and slowly turned it and pulled. It wasn't locked. The gap between the door and the wall steadily grew larger. The chain was even on. The present smell of life at Satoko's house hit me. In the entrance there was a few pairs of shoes and sandals. I couldn't tell whether he was here or not just by looking at them. I could hear television on somewhere. The television was in the messy dining room. There was food scattered about the table, giving me an impression decidedly different from a happy family meal time. Meals were for eating food while thanking the person for making it. Meaning it would have occurred in this dining room wasn't a meal. Nobody in sight. Nobody in sight of anyone either. But with the television on, he must have been close. Could he be anticipating my coming and be hiding and waiting for me? The tissue I felt was so thick, so tight that I thought it could choke me. The newspaper were dripping. Her hatchet's thick blade didn't hamper its power at all. I tightened my grip on it and very carefully took a look around. Where had he gotten those peaceful feelings from before I had arrived here gone? Even the sound of sweat bubbling on my brow got on my nerves. Then I looked at the table and realized something. This was a breakfast. The grains of boiled rice were all hard and dried up. Then, last night's dinner, I left the dining room, keeping vigilant, and went down the hallway and found the stairs to the second floor. When that man was playing with his friends, he looked at the second-story window. It was highly possible that the room was his own. He slept there. I tiptoed up the edge of the stairs quietly, climbing without making a sound. I couldn't hear any kind of snoring. I didn't hear anything up there. I went through a few rooms slowly and quietly, opening the paper doors, checking inside, but I still couldn't find anyone around. This was more efficiently. I got down on the floor and pressed my ear right up to it. I could hear the television in the dining room and the low hum, perhaps of boiling water. It was then I started to harbor some feelings of suspicion. This house wasn't right. It seemed like people had been here since the TV was on, but it wasn't normal for nobody to be around this early in the morning. I suddenly descended the stairs and went back into the dining room. I looked at the food scattered about, the completely dried up rice, an overturned bowl of miso soup, the package for a side dish bought at the supermarket. I could tell it cooked differently than the one who made this. The food was far from Mia's reflection or Venus' truthfulness, but it was sincere. Judging by how she cooked it for me at my house and from the top and the mouth side dishes, I deduced this meal was from last night. The number slipped on the food package read 830620, June 20th, 1983. That was yesterday, and there was food for two, which meant that this was last night's dinner, and Satoko's uncle would have been here then. Stop it, Kichi. Don't even think about saying that word impossible again. Anyway, her uncle was here last night. That much was the truth. He had found fossils of Satoko's food thrown in the bowl of miso soup and flung the rest everywhere. Here indeed, within my feelings of calm and composure, was a lit flame of anger and a curse. Should I have ever shown this man any mercy? But, I heard the sound again, the one from before, like a water boiler. What was it coming from? The first floor? But where? The bathroom, maybe? I could hear the noise coming from the other side of the frosted glass at the far end of the changing room. It had to be the sound of the water boiling for the bath. Steam was enshrouding the glass door, and the heat from it was leaking into the changing room where I was standing, too. My misgivings deepened. People didn't normally take a bath this early in the morning. If one did, then it would mean that this house time had been stopped ever since someone went last night. Whistle, was it being reheated? The water boiler in the room had been active this whole time. I took the clothing basket, also took Ghost familiar uniform stuffed in it. The uniform had stains and dried rice stuck to it, certainly not something she could wear today. It was probably from the mix of soup at the dinner table yesterday. I looked hard at the frosted glass, but I couldn't see anything through all the steam. And then an electric surge ran through my mind, and a terrible premonition came over me. She could have possibly been in there since last night. That would be impossible. But no, in him was all right now, nothing was impossible. I gulped audibly and then quietly pulled aside the glass door. Hot steaming air burst out the slightly opening. The fan was on in the changing room, so I was completely with wet steam. Just as the hot air poured into the changing room, cooler air was also flowing into the room with the bath, and I just heard, due to being hit by that air, very weak moan. That was all I needed to know who it was. Satoko! No answer. Satoko to the bathtub, surrounded by a thick layer of rising steam. The top half of her body was leaning over the edge of the tub, and she was passed out. The water boiling kept on making a whistling noise as if angered. I could see the white gas through a small window. It was roaring at full force, completely blue. Zuko's entire body was boiled red and flaccid as though her bones had melted away. She was almost like a doll and lay there unconscious. I wasn't sure how many seconds passed as I stared in complete bafflement. I came back to my senses to promptly shut off the boiler. Then I dragged Zuko's small body at the bathtub. The water in it was as hot as the water in a public bath. Was she in its boiling water for the entire night? She'll die, she'll die. Zuko's body was lighter than that as I laid her on the floor and wrapped her in a towel. I went back into the bathroom and opened up the vent, creating a path for a cool breeze to come through. Upon the breezing hitting her, Satoko moaned again. I'll be alright, Satoko. It's me, Kichi. Kichi. Can you hear me? Kichi. Satoko recognized me and muttered a response, but I couldn't really tell what she was saying. Her eyes were muddy and unfocused. I could tell she was completely unconscious. Upon closer inspection, her limbs and waist were twitching slightly. This was way worse than normal overheating. This was dangerous. Didn't they call this heat stroke? Think, what would the teacher do if a girl passed out in the middle of summer during a marathon gym class or something? I turned the water faucet in the kitchen all the way on and soaked the towel with it. Then I took the cold towel and pressed it to Zuko's forehead. Zuko reacted harshly to the cold and let out a muffled voice. For burns, right, you would soak to a burn spot under running water. Then I would run cold water in the shower and cool her off like that? No. If it was that sudden, it wouldn't be good for her heart and she'd go into shock. I think I've read that once before. I just about as much understanding as I could possibly give in her. Anything more than this would be too much for the likes of an amateur. What happens, Zuko? You're alright now. I will. Your Nini will save you for sure. 50,039. 5, cough, 40. Haha. What was that? Zuko recited on her breath. I heard about my ear to her mouth a better make of the mysterious but-like words she kept saying. And at that moment I understood what they were for. Zuko, you're counting? Why? People tell little kids in the bath to count to 100 a lot, right? Zuko's counting like that. But 5,039? You moron, how long were you supposed to count in their own bathtub? 10,000. I thought my ears doubted her common sense. 10,000. You're a freaking idiot. What kind of dumbass could count to 10,000? There's no way you could do that. You'd bolt to death before you get that far. Why were you? My uncle. Last night her uncle flew into a rage at the dinner and she made saying it sunk and it was inedible. Zuko didn't understand what on earth he meant. It wasn't much for different than what she usually made for him. Maybe he hated some of the pickled vegetables she bought in particular. Her uncle didn't say the stink was originated from Satoko and showed her she never ever took a bath. And then he put Satoko in a boiling water and told him to come out until she counted to. Ugh. I'll kill you. I snapped and exploded. Raising newspaper wrapped heated hatchet, I stampeded through the house. I saw strange things, twisted signs, smells of a righteous heartbeats. With a war cry, I raised up the stairs with such force I could stomp a hole through them. And I found the futon in the room I thought would be Uncle's, and where he was asleep in it, I bashed it with the hatchet. Did he run to the closet? I busted the entire closet down, door and all. And if it's not there, maybe there's a secret door. Any switches or levers in the walls here? I smashed it to the wall with the hatchet, crushing them. Then I rose it to the air and broke a piece of scattered about the floor. I smashed all the glasses windows too for good measure. Whoa, I thought I destroyed everything beyond recognition. Her uncle's room, my music finally kicked in and suppressed my emotions. Anyway, her uncle was in the house right now. I'd have to leave killing him until later. Right now, to do something about Satoko. I went back to the changing room. Satoko was still lying limp on the floor. There was something more than an amateur like me could do for her. I need to take her to the clinic. Coach had treated me like a long lunatic year, saying to look me up in a mental hospital. I never wanted to see his damn face again, but I still needed to go to the infirmary one more time. I still need to have a doctor look at Satoko. I thought about putting her in a dirty uniform lying in the laundry basket, but I had no experience dressing someone, so it'd be pretty difficult. Shit, I don't have time to be wasting here. I bet she gave up on the clothing and decided to carry her in a bath towel. The clinic was too close to Satoko's house. It would be way faster to carry her there than to call a 119 and get an ambulance. I threw the biggest towel I could find over her and prompted her to stand. Can you stand? I'll carry you over to the clinic. Thank you. Her words sounded clearer than before. She was starting to come back. I cried tears of relief just knowing she improved even a little bit. Satoko turned over so she was lying on her face and then put a weak struggle to get up on her knee. Smoothly swept her up and put her on my back. The towel I put on her seemed like it was about to fall off. The towel, it hurts. We'll be there soon. It won't be long, so stay strong. It didn't hurt one bit to carry Satoko. She was light, too light. The lightness actually made me uneasy. Outside it had gotten hotter as though he was eager to attack Satoko. Fucking kickadas. Why did they have to choose this morning to get so hot out? I didn't have time to swear at them. The clinic was this way. Hoisting to took on my back, I broke into a trot. Wow, this time I actually get a halfway 3 points, so I'm going to take a few minute break to, clear my throat a little. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, alright. Nearly rode to the clinic with which I never had difficulties before was now torturous. Big beads of sweat formed on my brow, and at some point my breath had grown faint. A hatchet in my belt was heavy and made it hard to walk. I considered leaving it, but I couldn't let it go. At least not while Sotoko's uncle was still breathing. The signboard for the Irie clinic came into sight, but I still quickly noticed their odds, so I stopped. Several red volume lights were flashed at the clinic. 3 police cars were parked to the parking lot with their lights on. They didn't seem to be much else to inform us what had happened. I didn't want to see the coach, so I had a plan that at least Sotoko in the clinic waiting room and give the receptionist a message. But with that police officer Oishi here, I couldn't go inside so carelessly. What's going on? Dude, she's not even covered at all. I'm sorry, I just had to look. Okay, let's get this off the screen quickly. What's going on? Why are there so many police cars? I gently put the down in the shade of the thicket. I don't know, I'll go see what happens, so you stay here for a moment. Leaving a lady in a place like this worrying nothing but about Tao, simply unforgivable. But if you can still fire off those insults, you'll be fine. I'll be right back. I had to get to my feet. Cautious of my surroundings, I hid myself behind a car and got closer to the officer's ground clinic's entrance. Over her, an officer wearing a necktie, probably their leader, and a white-robed doctor having a discussion about something. The doctor saying it seemed to be Coach. It was one of those who Coach told that makes the tea yesterday. So you're the first one to find us since you were on the morning duty. So then, what did it look like? He was sitting on the sofa in the head office. He looked like he was taking a nap. There was a jug and an empty bottle of sleep medication on his desk, so he immediately thought he would try to commit suicide with it. What else? His high temperature and incontinence indicated a severe disturbance of consciousness. As he looked at a typical case of sleeping pill poisoning, so I immediately began to treat him. Without calling the police or an ambulance, this is a hospital and I'm a doctor. Since his life was dangerous, my job to treat him at once. He was deciding to say, okay, what else? His breathing was in disarray, so I put him on a respirator. I also administered some breathing stimulants. It had no effect, so I prepared a medical ventilator and, alright, so in other words, you did what you could, but it wasn't enough. That's right. So, you reported this as soon as he died? Yes. It was very unfortunate that we weren't able to save him. Just in a radio and one of the police cars started to buzz, producing a broken mechanical voice. This is HQ. This is HQ. Komiya-san, can you hear me? Over. Hello, this is Komiyama. We came up with something. It looks like you keep me a suicide with sleeping pills. No notes or anything. Suicide? What the heck were they talking about? Someone committed suicide at the clinic. But who? I bet it's Coach. I wish Takano-san dead and she died the next day. Yes, I wish Coach was dead. Then, could he have? He sleep medication regularly? I don't really know. Did he normally complain that he was tired and wanted to die? Well, I always think he was normally so well himself. He never acted like that. So I was right. I always didn't say. They were talking about Coach. Coach killed himself. So why would he do that? There could have been any reason he wanted to die. The only reason that came to mind was that I wanted him dead. This world was insane. If I wanted someone dead, they'd die. This is the kind of world this was. And what about Oishi? What happened to him? If people really died because I wanted them to, this something should have happened to him too. I set you back up. The chief wants you to leave the rest of him and get back searching for Oishi's car. Yes, sir. Please just keep breathing. It looks like we're getting relieved here, so please leave everything as it is right now. Alright, let's go. The officers nodded and split up to the patrol cars. Did they just say searching for Oishi's car? Searching for his car. That meant he had gone missing. Takano-san, Coach, Oishi, and I wished for it the very next day. They disappeared. No matter how angry you were when you said you wish someone was dead, it didn't normally happen. Everyone knew just what you for it wouldn't make them dead, and that's why people could utter such curse so lightly. But the curses I uttered were being granted. At the time, I hadn't even been walking yet. The tap. I heard a footstep. And it wasn't only this one time. Tap. Tap. They came from behind, and they stood right behind me, reaching their hand from my shoulder. Would you mind telling me what's going on? Wow. Sotoko, don't scare me like that. I'm scared one here. I prefer if you didn't show so suddenly. But Sotoko, her eyes were still unstable, unfocused, but she seemed to be able to at least walk on her own now. She looked far better now compared to her earlier exhausted state. How do you feel? Are you better? My head still hurts, but I can't stay outside looking like this forever. She gave a smile to show courage, but her legs were still shaky. Anyway, what's going on? From what I just heard the police talking about, Coach apparently committed suicide. Eh? Satsuko was at a loss for words. Her face grew paler and paler, and I could tell she was dying her own ears. Kichi-san, is that true? I didn't mishear you. That's what I heard. They said Arishite killed himself with sleeping pills. Satsuko went on her knees and broke out in tears. And it can't be, Coach. He would never, ever kill himself. As I watched Satsuko crying and clawing through the grass, I felt myself trapped by guilt and remorse. I got so angry that Coach was treating me like a madman yesterday, that he betrayed me, that I thought he'd be better off dead. But even when Coach told me he deserved to die, I still went to people who loved and respected him, like Satoko here. In my selfish, egotistical anger, I wished for his death and he was granted, and also Satoko was crying hysterically as a result. The guilt tore at my heart. I worked myself up to the murder for Satsuko's sake. I decided I wanted Satsuko to be happy, but was that all it really, all it took? Okay. Murder meant taking someone's life, and meant like anyone touched that person sad. If Satsuko's case, of course nobody would be sad, so I didn't feel a sense of guilt at all. But Coach's death was different. I didn't want to make Satsuko happy, and that resulted in me inflicting a deep sadness upon her head in it. But Coach killed himself. It wasn't my big sob. Satsuko started to stop crying, but she seemed to be a little calmer now. Wiping her tears, she stood up. I'm sorry. I don't think I could think of to say it was an apology. Why are you apologizing? Yesterday I got into a fight with Coach, and I thought that I wanted him to die. I wanted it so he really could get me dubiously for a few moments. Her face was just softer as she interpreted my words in her own way. It wasn't even fault, Kichi-san. Coach was an adult too. He felt like there was something he had to give his life for, and chose to do so after a lot of worrying and suffering. It's not anyone's fault, so she smiled a little, trying to comfort me. I don't want to be naked forever. I want some clothes. Are you okay? Sure, you guess I went to clinic too. I won't die if I put on clothes before going. Satsuko adjusted her back down, started back along the path. Her side was wobbling, and didn't look like she recovered as much as she let on. At first, Satsuko tried to get back home, but it was the time in the morning when people were going to school and work, so I thought she was seeing people walking around. She thought better of it. She must have been pretty embarrassed when I laid the towel. I'm going to Rika's house. My clothes should be there. What's wrong, Kichi-san? Satsuko noticed that I was hanging my head and spoke to me. Despite how he might come off, Coach was all alright. You must certainly not have killed him after a petty fight with you, Kichi-san. Please stop blaming yourself. At first I thought it was a coincidence, but with the people now, I couldn't discard the possibility. There was no such thing as impossible in this world. These past few days haven't made any sense. Hasn't. Satsuko seemed to have trouble breathing, but she still tried to listen to what I had to say. I was at the Tatarigoroshi festival the day before last. You went home right there. Right? And I went there and had a lot of fun, so it would seem. I do apologize for getting so upset with you about it. Satsuko remembered how she blew up at me in the clustering and saying about to me a little. If I said I actually didn't go to the festival at all, would you believe me? Satsuko looked at me confused. She couldn't help but look at it, of course. Of course I wouldn't believe you. What are you talking to him about? You wouldn't, right? I don't believe it either. I mean, I didn't go to the festival. Anyone saying I hung out with them there. Nobody would believe it, right? Are you being serious? Yeah. Ever since I heard with Tatarigoroshi, things been messed up. These weird footsteps started to follow me everywhere. The blood drained from Satsuko's expression. Footsteps following you? Yeah. I thought it was just my imagination at first, but they stayed with me. They're probably still there. I can tell them apart now because of your footsteps, though. Satsuko took a long, hard look at me. Maybe it was just doubting my sanity. Coach did the same thing. I mean, I wouldn't hear to tell him this. The more I thought about it, the more I was able to endure the feeling that my hatred for Coach had been meaningless. On the day of Tatarigoroshi, I didn't go. I was doing something else. The whole time. I wasn't sleeping or unconscious or anything. So it's not possible that I walked to the festival in my sleep and forgot about it afterwards. That was quite strange. Then how were you at the festival? That's what I mean. I didn't go to the festival. No. I can't let myself get emotional. If I get ashamed now, that was like proving that there's something wrong with my head. Sorry. Well, nobody believes me, so yeah. If that's what you Kichi-san, I will believe you. And what? That night I saw Takano's song, and it felt like she was looking down on me, so I made a wish. A wish that she would die. Takano-san does have sort of air about her, doesn't she? I'm gonna say that I don't understand how you feel. Did you know that Takano-san died? It happened yesterday. Apparently she was burned alive somewhere. Is that true? She died? I wished for her to die, and the next day she was dead. And who is she from the police too? Do you know him? I know him, fat detective guy? Takano nodded a little. I heard from the police earlier, but apparently he went missing. And yesterday, actually, I wish that he would die. Is that all true? I'm not lying. I don't want to believe it either, but it's true. Takano told Coach Onishi I wanted them dead, and then they really died. For a little while, Tsuko was at a loss, and a long silence ensued. Ho ho ho, what a scary story. I was sure not to get on your head, but that's like Kichi-san. That's not all. This wasn't even stranger. It's about your uncle. I would rather you not talk about my uncle. He was there yesterday, right, at your house. Could you please talk about him? I don't want to. It's impossible. He couldn't have been there. I said stop talking about him. No. That man could have been there after the Horizon God Nagashi because I... No one more pleased about that man. I killed him with my own hands. Even the Kakata stopped crying. Her face streaked with tears, and stiffened even more. She looked at me in disbelief. On the night of the Tanagashi Festival, I killed your uncle, so it's possible that he could have been gone back home. But still, he went back. And last night, we found fault at dinner, and he made him yell all sorts of things at you, and then basically pulled you in the bathtub. That could have possibly have happened. So I wanted to make sure I actually killed him. So yesterday I wanted to dig up the corpse I buried, but the body wasn't there. Is that even possible? I couldn't know for sure, but there's no body. And he went home with it. Nothing happened to you, and that was supposed to happen, was it? So the entire body stiffened. She was shrieking away like there was someone in front of her about to hurt her. You probably think I've gone a little bit crazy, don't you? I don't blame you. I can't believe it myself. Kishi-san, I think you are very confused after all the people you wish were dead coincidentally died. Or you was shocked at Koichi's suicide and you're really upset. I think you should stay home from school today and rest. I'll be fine, so please take care of yourself. Tsuko spoke like and she understood me, but she also told me to go home. I couldn't see the revulsion in her face, and she knew that she didn't want to be around me anymore. Once I show you the clinic, I'll go home. Your legs are still shaking, aren't they? It would be terrible if you collapsed halfway there. Really, I'm fine now. I do not want to expose a naked self to a man any more than this. Ha. She rolled with the shining steps like she was about to fall. I immediately ran up to her and helped her stand on her feet. But it took her trauma and jumped away from me. The outright rejection hurt a lot. When she got to the top of the stairs, her breathing was ragged and she didn't see me looking at me. And this part of her was being ignored. Well, it was like more she didn't want to have anything to do with me. I was really feeling rejection. That could have hurt my heart more than any bleak could have. That was the path I chose for her sake. To be treated like this never at all was just so saddening. Don't be naive, Kichi, my bearer. You never wanted to be repaid in the first place. You didn't do it so Tsuko would thank you. You did it so Tsuko would be happy. And that was what led to this ending. Ricochet's house was a disaster prevention storehouse used by the council. If you went past it a little farther through the shrine grounds, you would apparently be shipped back of the assembly hall. Tsuko was heading there, walking quickly, though, grabbed on her feet quickly as she went. Did she want to get there as soon as possible, or did she want to run away? I couldn't tell. And I heard the vigorous sounds of wings flapping. I turned around and saw a crow. I didn't see many crows coming in Himazawa. I saw them all in my old town, though. On garbage day, they flocked to trash collection points, packed through the bags with their beaks, drag out the contents, and have a feast. As I remembering that, I saw a few crows walking around the shrine's donation box, and I thought how terrible it was for someone to leave a garbage bag at a place like that. The Kakatas quieted. Breathing stopped. Thoughts ceased. Even time came to a halt. I ran over to see where the crows were flocking. Everything in order to drive a horrible idea out of my mind. I definitely had one of this. There's no way I would have wish for this even by mistake. This was not. When they noticed my vicious approach, the crows all flipped up as flames to the sky. When the crow's big black bodies flew away, they exposed a garbage bag. Wow, what had I seen there? The screaming had skipped my thought before I understood as I was looking at. What was this? Suka came over as well, realized what had happened. As she looked over my shoulder and she screamed as well. This wasn't. This garbage bag was crimson, dyed in fresh blood. Or kind of this roundabout way of saying it. Yes, it was Rika-chan. Our first Tsuko's best friend. Always easygoing, clever as a cat, but so cute you couldn't hate her. Our friend Rika-chan, Rika-chan was stark naked. She face up and limbs sprawled. Her eyes were like glasses, staring up into the sky. And Rika, Tsuko broke down crying on the spot. And yet she still couldn't approach her friend's remains. The crows had gone to the garbage bag and dragged out an apple peel and spread it all over. No. Crows, they couldn't do this. Whoa. On the spot, I started vomiting. The sour taste became a bitter one as I threw up over and over again. Rika-chan, she hurt her stomach. She was cut wide open, vertically, completely open. Rika, crows couldn't have done this. and from her open stomach, her organs, her bowels were all dragged out like a children's toy left all over the floor. That's an unbelievable sight, induced oxygen deprived in my brain. Colors of vision, a pounding headache, dizzy, and I went to vomit. It was like the nightmare remains of a ceremonial killing. Someone somewhere had killed Higurashi and brought her here, laid her with her limbs sprawled out, and then cut her open stomach and drugged out her intestines. Red and pink viscera were sticking out of her gut, and her intestines were scattered in every direction like it had been for fun. The entire ground was covered in an ocean of red and black. A few of the crows had hopped around inside that ocean. They walked through the sea of blood, leaving bloody footprints. In those footprints, there were several soles of Higura's body. The same as the prints when they seemed even more like a bizarre ritual killing. I made a wish I took on her son, Coach Uishi, to die, but I didn't remember ever wishing for Higura's death. Yeah, it was me. It was me. It was me. I stumbled backwards and stepped on a newspaper. The newspaper in a place like this. The newspaper was covering my hatchet. I had kept it wrapped up on my pocket in order to carry Satoko, and the newspaper had fallen off. She's don't scare me like that. I bent down to pick it up, and Satoko looked at me with such a relief as I'd never seen her froze. She looked straight at me as the hatchet on my belt. Eek. Calm down, Satoko. This isn't what it looks like. Satoko trembling madly backed away. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't. Murderer. She had carried all. She was exposing herself to the towel. She was trembled, tried to step back from the demon in front of her. Satoko, please calm down. Please relax. Satoko, no. Screaming weakly, Satoko began to run steadily. Run away, that is. Wait, please, Satoko, you're wrong. That's not it. She ran away. It was so weak and so slow. So if I wanted to go after her, I could have got up. But if I tried to go up to Satoko's shoulder or something right now, she would actually go crazy. So I had to follow her and try to clear this up. You killed the Cotton-san and Coach, and Yoshi said, didn't you? You killed my uncle, and then you killed Rika. You murderer. No, it wasn't me. I didn't kill her. What are you saying? You just said yourself you did. You not. You wanted them to die, and then you want to die, didn't they? Well, no. I just wish they were dead. I couldn't. You don't even remember what you did you? How could I trust a person like you? Didn't your memory of killing them just slip your mind? No, maybe you're only pretending not to remember. Besides, what is the hatchet for? Try to explain that. August 4. CC, Kichi, you're a killer, aren't you? Why did you do it? You were a little mean, but you were fun and kind. And almost even thought you might be my real Nini. Why did you turn into this? I might have been able to slowly answer each one of Satoko's questions at a time, but in this situation, explain my innocence as such a short period of time was impossible. I mean, I didn't even know I was really innocent anyway. At the very least, I killed Satoko's uncle. There's no body, but I killed him. Without a doubt. At this point, I was far from innocent, and I wish the Carter-san and Coach Uishi were dead, and that curse of mine was granted. And I wish Mr. Carter-san had died. I didn't think of it anymore as a normal thing. You say to someone you didn't like. And then she actually did die, and I realized that if I wanted the people to die, they would. And hoping it would happen again, I cursed Coach and Uishi to the same fate. So even ignoring Takara-san's death, Coaches and Uishi were completely premeditated crimes. Was I a killer just like Satoko said? Was I unable to distinguish between an illusion and reality and turn into a demon without remembering it? Becoming a killer who carried out Uishi-sama's curse? No, that couldn't be it. It was impossible. Damn it. The very word impossible is impossible in Hinamazawa right now. How many freaking times did I have to say that word these 3 past days? Suko started crying again and was walking unsteadily. At first I felt like she was still crying, still worrying about something, but now it was like she was walking away crying from someone bullying her. Why? Why did things turn out this way? Why? If there's an answer to that, I wanted to know it too. Why had it turned out like this? After Nini went away, I was lonely for a long time. But the Kichi-san transferred to our school and everyone was happy again. It was fun again. Every day was beautiful. Yeah, she was right. Those days were bright and beautiful. And yet, as I was to go now, I showed the exact same thing. How did it turn out like this? The Kakadas were staring at the spectacle or strange game of tag. Shut up. Eventually I heard the murmuring of a string. The forest part of the inspection which appeared. Suko was crying, digitally wobbling and she might fall at any moment. As I stepped into the bridge, it swayed a lot cause Suko to stagger and fall on the spot. Suko, are you okay? Don't come near me, you murderer. Suko shouted, her hatred being very clear. It was sad. If her words cut this warmth flowing to my eyes. it would have been blood for sure. Why did you turn out this way? Sorry, guys. I really, really liked you. I wanted to go up to her and give her a hand, but the distance between us was uncrossable. If I got any closer, Toko would start shouting again and say things that would hurt me deeply again. So I couldn't approach her any closer than this. So Toko, I don't know how things turned out like this either, but I can say this: I was the one who killed Rika-chan. At least that is true. Please stop being so absurd. How could you expect me to believe anything someone can't even rely on his own memories has to say? I tied my hands into her fists. This was mortifying. I wasn't crazy. Anyways, I was crazy ever since I wanted to it and lost on that one night. This is the same world where I was at the festival when I wasn't, and the killer was alive. Where death would come just by wishing for it. It was this world's fault. Man, I mean, I started acting strangely like they were possible by something too. Possessed by something too. And Coach wouldn't believe anything I had to say. He was the girl who I should have protected was yelling at me like this. Was this a price for killing a man who was supposed to be this high? Was I really going to be forced to stay in such a bitter world? I did the right thing, at least I wanted to. So then, why? I hate it. Every time I asked why the days took on I enjoyed a piece wasn't so wrong. So please believe me, I'm not a murderer. Now what is the hatchet for? Can you give me a convincing explanation for that? Is this hatchet scaring you? Okay, I'll throw it away. That's what you want, right? Suko didn't nod, but she's being in agreement with that proposition. I clumsily took the hatchet out of my belt, then dropped it over to the side of the bridge and the stream below. There, it's gone. Now you'll listen to me, alright? You think I'll let my guard down just because you got rid of your weapon? Keep signing you're strong. It'll be easy for you to string me with your bare own hands. Like how everyone wants to kill Satoko. You idiot. Then what should I do? Should I put my hands on my head? Yes, why don't you? Please put your hands on your head and face the other way. It was a cunning plan, much like the one she used during club activities. Put my hands on my head and turning away would mean I couldn't touch Satoko very easily. I immediately acquiesced to her request that it would make her feel better. Is this alright? Please, that's what I have to say. Satoko stood up and then carefully approached me from behind, and then she actually came up right behind me. She was so close yet I was so sad that I was allowed to turn around. I think I understand that it isn't your fault, Kichi-san. Huh? I think probably you just made me possessed by something evil. So before I thought Kichi was someone's a killer, but now I know. I have to look at your eyes. I could hear that Satoko was still crying, but her voice was just as the same. Kichi-san could never kill anyone. Satoko simply possessed his body and made him do evil things. Was she speaking literally right now? Or was she trying to admonish me? I couldn't tell. Couldn't think of it. Maybe they were possessed just like Kichi-san. At the same time, I was always thinking, At the time, I was always thinking I would be killed, so I didn't think about it. But now I understand. This was the work of an evil that possessed you. Satoko, what are you? It was like she was talking to me, and more like she was talking to herself, like she was confessing on my back. I understand, it wasn't like I haven't expressed it myself. Satoko's voice started to become mixed with the sobs. Her pain voiced fire in my heart, but I didn't know what Satoko was talking about. I climbed on one of the ritual storehouses once. It was a few years ago. Once when Satoko was playing behind a secret shrine ground, she climbed up to the roof of the storehouse for ritual implants, which anyone said not to go near and hid. Then Satoko saw that she could get in through a window meant for ventilation. For Satoko, the word curse was plain scary, but she was more curious about what was inside the unknown storehouse. She removed the grating on the window, which was already hanging off, slid her small body into it, climbed down its side. It was too dark to see much after descending, and she realized just how high she'd been. Despite the darkness, she could see a few things around her thanks to the faint light coming in from the air window, and to her disappointment, it was just a regular old storehouse. She tried to leave, but the door was locked up tight from the outside, which made it not open from within. She would have to go back to the ventilation window she came from, but the window was side on the wall, and there was no way she'd be able to climb back up. So to go desperately trying not to cry and back to her brain and thinking of a way to get up there. There was a lot of bird cages looking things hanging by the chains from the ceiling. She took the hanging chains and strung them along the wall. If she climbed up the bundle of chains, she might be able to manage to climb up the ventilation window. There was nothing else she could do, so she had to try, and try she did. It was dark and creepy, and she didn't want to stay there forever. The more she thought about that, the more she panicked. She climbed to the bundle of chains so Satoko could hear the clinks and clangs of the thing creaking under her weight. And then, just as her hand reached the window, one of the metal fixtures she used to stick the chains on the wall flew off, and the chains all began to pull loudly ferociously every which way. Spurred on by the silence behind her, she managed to get back onto the roof of the window. Because of the weight of the flailing bundle of chains, the other fixtures broke, and then one of the birkages hanging from the ceiling fell to the floor with a huge noise. Under it was an image of Yoshio-sama, his vessel, and the cage took off under the arms, and trapped some of the implements beneath it. It didn't take very long for her to grow scared of what she'd done. The deafening noise could be heard from the rest of the shrine grounds. A few children heard her and gathered around, and of course Rika was one of them. And Rika's father, the shrine priest, with an angry look, ran over. And then as for what happened next, it was painful to remember. The only one who knew where Rika's parents kept the key to the ritual storehouse was Rika. So he scolded her, saying that this happened because Rika pulled a prank and he hid me in there. He was very angry and menacing. His look at him was enough to frighten anyone. He exposed Rika's back, took a strange shaped ritual cane and started and struck her with it several times. Rika's words at the time, "It wasn't me, it wasn't me. I'm sorry, I'm sorry." That pitiful voice, I still can't get out of my head. I should have said it was me. I should have said so to save my best friend from that false accusation without being afraid of Rika's father's terrible temper. Rika gritted her teeth and cried at the same with the crime she didn't remember doing. Ever since then, the world had been strange. I now understand. This is Yoshio-sama's curse. His judgment for messing up the ritual storehouse for forsaking my best friend. Or Yoshio-sama's curse. My father and mother, too, they vanished in that muddy stream. My main auntie died, too, but the Nini who loved me more than anyone ran away from home. And then Kichi-san transferred in, and I thought I finally got my fun life back. But this time, Kichi-san was possessed, and even Rika got killed. Oof. This I heard once. Yoshio-sama, when he really curses someone, he doesn't kill them right away. He goes in order of your closest friends, and after killing them all, he kills the last person last. So Kichi-san, the curse got you too. I'm sure that Samiyasa will be cursed next, and then they'll kill and be killed. No more. No. Calm down, Satoko. There's no curse. Nobody's trying to torment you. When I turned around, I thrust away with amazing force. Given my hands were awkwardly placed on my head, I couldn't take the fall and lost my balance. And I've been pushed to the bridge, not to the bridge, but to the side. Towards the stream. No, this can't be happening. What? As well as miracle, I was allowed to grab a cord hanging from the bridge. Far below me was the stream. We were pretty high up, and below were rocks of all sizes. If I fell, it clearly wouldn't be pretty. The entire bridge was tilting under my body away. My frail little grip wouldn't last another minute before my fingers had to let go. Satoko. I didn't understand myself what I meant by shouting her name then. I was asking her to save me, or was I asking her why she did this? Finally, as I came back to the focus, I saw Satoko, and I was surprised at an odd expression she had. It was the first time I had seen it. It was the expression of righteous anger meant only for those who need to die. Die, you murderer. Give him back. Give back my Nini. Give back Rika, Mommy, and Kichi-san. Wah. As she screamed, she jerked the bridge into the furrow. She didn't have to do that. I was going to fall anyway. I won't lose in the likes of you. I won't lose the same stupid curse. I will never ever lose to you. It took everyone. I will never lose to you. Not ever. Satoko, please let me say one thing. I don't know what my face looked like at the time, but I see like Suko's I left across Suko's agitation. I know what I did is exactly praiseworthy. No, in fact, I should never have done it at all. But I did it because I wanted to see you happy. Please just believe that. You, at the very, very end, you're still pretending to be Kichi-san. Suko didn't seem to have any more desire to listen to what I had to say. If it would happen at the very end like this was tragic, I didn't have to do it in interviews, so you praised me. If it made you happy, that was all that mattered. We were nothing. Without your smile, we were nothing. So after I disappear, please smile. If you can go on with your new life by me dying, then please just smile. Can you at least promise me that? Stop speaking. Don't you skeet yourself like that. Fall down. Die. And those were the last words Suko ever said to me. Those so tragic and altogether unrewarding words. On earth was I? My desire to make Suko happy ended up like this. Where did I first go wrong? And what was the mistake I made? When did I make it? Was I the crazy one, or was it Hinamisawa? And after all this, I thought I wasn't crazy at all. It was that eerie world that was crazy. This world I accidentally wandered into that one night. Because that fun world where I never doubted all the crazy times we had as a club will go on forever. It could possibly have transformed into such an abnormal world. That fun world wouldn't have ever ended with this Suko pushing me to my death. In the end, I was going to be swallowed up by this crazy world and disappear. No, I probably already disappeared. Yes, probably. And now with Tatarigoroshi, I'm sure that in the world I really belonged to, I had vanished that night and everyone was worried. It was laughable that I hadn't taken this long to figure out I wasn't around anymore. I was sure someone's girls of the 50 was Satoko's uncle dying and me disappearing. In the real world, Satoko had already been free. Me and my friends were all lamenting my disappearance and violently trying to get back on their feet. And even though they were down to 4 people, the club would reopen and they would have a good time without me, waiting for the day when I would come back. I'm sorry, everyone. I couldn't come back home, but this is what I wished for. It was my wish for Satoko Smile and my duty as her Nini. At this point, there would be nobody left to torture you, because Satoshi and I, it took 2 years, but we succeeded. That's annoying too. That annoying toothly smile of yours, and wanted to see it one more time. Wait, is it over? Oh man, please don't let this be over. Oh wait, maybe not. My pain wasn't gentle or merciful. It was a sharp pain, violent, powerful, and ruthless. What little capacity I had receded in the spin of a moment. And now I could die. I could say goodbye to this insane world. Farewell, crazy Nimisawa. Thanks for giving me the psychic power to kill people whenever I wanted. If you're still allowed, I'll wish for one last thing. The death of this very world of this crazy Nimisawa, so that nobody would ever again have to find themselves lost here again. Damn, that's deep, man. Deep. Wow, it's at the end of the chapter and in the game in general. I hope this is at the end, because the other 2 games did not have a happy ending. I don't want this to have a a bad ending either. This will probably be the end of the video. I don't know if it's the final video or not. Let's just see if there's anything after. Okay, there is something after. So that means, guys, I will see you in the next video, I think. Unless these are credits, which I don't think they are. Are they? I don't know. Okay, no, it's not. Well, I'll see you guys in the next video.